Welcome back to Jedi Enclave. I'm Daniel.
I am Chris.
And we are two lonely nerds trying to make their way in the universe. And we're constantly looking for things on Reddit and the internets about different Star Wars theories and crazy. Some of them crazy, some of them requiring tinfoil hats. Some of them, when you read it, you're like,
we need some tinfoil hats, actually.
yeah, we do.
Like that's next on our list of props to get.
Oh, that is a really good idea. Because like when we find a bad one, we just be like, yeah, we'll look into that for you guys. So anyway, we're going to talk about a theory that's kind of going around. And when I read it, because I read all of them, because the dumb ones make me laugh, and then the good ones make me like think about Star Wars, which it's kind of a state of mind I enjoy to be in. So the premise is that the Palpatine that we saw, by the way, this is going to have Rise of Skywalker spoilers. And first of all, if you haven't seen it by now, you probably don't care about spoilers, and that's kind of on you. But I'm just going to let you know ahead of time, spoilers, don't be mad at us. The Palpatine that we saw in Rise of Sith was actually a clone.
Rise of Skywalker?
Rise of Skywalker, yeah.
Okay.
It was a clone and not the real Palpatine. Not the real Palpatine.
Not like Palpatine's original body.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that, but also, let me walk you through the thought experiment,
Tell me
and
more.
I think the conclusion will be kind of explained by some of the concepts they explored. First thing is that Palpatine used clones in the expanded universe.
Yes.
More famously from Dark Empire. You found out he's got like a whole creepy lab full of him. It's like floating in a vat and everything.
Just replacement bodies that he can yeet into whenever he wants.
Right. Now, so you're probably saying, well, that was the old canon that Disney mercilessly shot in the face when they bought Star Wars.
They did the old Yeller treatment
Yeah,
on it.
they sure. Well, they didn't. They weren't even nice about it. However, the new canon, or canon, as some people are calling it, set up the idea of transferring yourself into a new body. This is from Marvel Comics series Darth Vader. There's a character called Dr. Silo.
This is the guy who got taken over by the MacGuffin? Because there's like this Sith spirit inside something and he touched it. And, this
No, different guy. Yeah,
Okay.
Dr. Silo, he had several clones that he would activate if he died.
Okay.
There was a story, he did a thing, Palpatine and Vader are involved, he betrayed Palpatine and Vader, and of course, if you do that, you get fucked, and he got fucked. And he was killed.
Permanently.
Yes.
Like there's no more clones of him.
Yes, but I presume before that happens, Palpatine like goes to visit him, like right before he kills him. He's like, you got a lot of clones here. He's
That's very interesting.
Yeah, he's like, I know how to get into one of them if I die. And Palpatine's like, well, that sounds stupid. How do you do that? And then it kills him. So it's plausible that it was something that if the dark side couldn't help him figure out, that maybe this thing would. Okay, so all this serves is to say that it is in current canon that this is possible. Okay. Rise of Skywalker confirmed, of course, that Palpatine was using clones for Snoke.
Yes.
To the best of my knowledge. At the beginning of the movie, Kylo Ren walks in. There appear to be tanks full of Snokes, which is not something I ever thought I wanted to see.
Tanks full of Snokes.
Yeah, and it's also,
That sounds like a prog metal band name.
Yeah, it could absolutely be a metal band.
Tanks full of Snokes.
Yeah. So, the other question I have about that is, did Snoke know?
Maybe?
Like,
maybe it was one of those things where every time a clone Snoke figures out what's going on,
they just kill him.
You can kill him, bring out the next Snoke.
Oh, God. Or, like, like the other idea I always had was that maybe Palpatine was like, hey, you're my apprentice. I need you to do these things to help me manipulate galactic events, and then you and I will rule the galaxy together.
Mwahaha.
Yeah, and the whole time Palpatine had his own thing, and Snoke really thought he was special or something like that. From this, we kind of get that Palpatine was in close proximity to cloning technology.
Okay. Above and beyond the fact that he basically manipulated the entire Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And so he would at least have peripheral knowledge of Camino and their cloning technology.
Yeah. The other thing too, then this is something that really bothered me about watching Rise of Skywalker, that they never really explained. It sounds like that they were going to explain it, but it kind of was let on the cutting room floor. Palpatine's body didn't look like it had just survived a nuclear blast, which is more or less what happens to him.
It was kind of fucked up. Like, he's missing about half of his fingertips, and like his eyes are like, I think it's supposed to imply that he's blind or something.
When you blow up in a nuclear explosion, you lose more than just your fingertips, is all I'm saying.
He also was the most powerful Dark Force user to ever live.
Okay, but then why the blue Sith spirit that splashed everyone in the face?
I don't know.
I mean, so like I could interpret that as him letting go of his body, and his Sith spirit's like, we gotta go find my other clone or whatever.
I'm not explicitly arguing against this yet, because I don't know that I've heard all the evidence for it. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah. Also, I'm not sure if it even matters really much, because I think the point of this, what they're saying is that the body that we saw in Rise of Skywalker wasn't the exact body of Palpatine when he was thrown down the shaft.
I can believe that.
I could believe it as well. It's at least plausible. So from all of this, it kind of like, started trying to connect the dots by saying that the whole point of it is Palpatine will be back.
I don't know that I'd go that far.
It depends on, I bet if Rise of Skywalker would have done really well, probably.
Maybe.
Like, we're going to bring him back some other time. So the whole point is that Palpatine, the one that we saw him in Rise of Skywalker, was just another clone. And then when he was killed by Rey, there's going to be another clone somewhere for him to run into. And it's just like this like the feedback loop of Palpatine and clones. And, it would be the most fucked up way to achieve immortality.
I can buy that. If I remember right, a big part of like the whole reason Palpatine made all those clones in the old expanded universe was explicitly to live forever.
Yeah, because he couldn't find like a legit way to do it, which is funny because the Jedi apparently had the answer the entire time.
Well, sure, but the thing about the dark side is it kind of wears out bodies incredibly quickly, as witnessed by like Palpatine shooting lightning at Mace Windu for like 10 seconds and then all of a sudden looking like he's 80 years older.
Well, some of that was, I think, from the lightning in his face.
Could be.
But yeah, the whole point was that the seduction of the dark side is that you don't have to wait as long to get the shit that you want.
Yeah.
You get the dark side, you get it immediately. You do some fucked up things, you kill some kids, but in the end you have the thing that'll, save your wife or whatever.
So here's an extension, I guess, of this theory. So when Palpatine's original body was chucked down the shaft in Return of the Jedi, his Sith spirit yeeted out of there, wound up in a new clone body on Exegol.
Okay.
That's the name of the planet, right?
Yeah.
It's been so long I can barely remember.
Korban, Morban, Exegol.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is he's on Exegol now. And it's been now like 30, 35 years, something like that between the movies. So in that time, assuming this clone began Palpatine's inhabitant of it at like roughly adult age, I could see him using the dark side enough to like melt off his fingertips and make his body blind, just because that's what the dark side does. Also, you might have to correct me if I'm wrong. In the Dark Empire storyline, is it stated that like the clone bodies burn out faster and don't live as long?
Well, it's not that they don't live as long. It's just that I think they're meant to live as long as a human is supposed to live, and Palpatine's like, we're going way past that.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Also, what if what actually happened on Exegol was that like he started as a finger? like the one finger that he's got in the movie, and like he's got to like rebuild a part of himself, and it took him like 35 years to get what we saw in Rise of Skywalker.
It's possible.
I could see like all these Sith loyalists like around a table and like a fucking finger.
It's just kind of tapping out Morse code.
Can't talk.
Something dark side.
Yeah, it has like little baby lightning and shit. Yeah.
I don't know if we should listen to what the fingers talk.
Yeah. Also, that just opens up another door of questions about.
We're kind of taking this theory to the ridiculous.
Yeah, I know, and I've like it becomes hard for me to talk about Rise of Skywalker a little bit without kind of talking about some of the things that I wish I would have found out or things that they would have gone into. But it's that's yesterday's news. So anyway. The gist of the theory is that we'll see Palpatine again. I think I more or less agree with you that in Hollywood, anything is possible as long as it will make money. And I think that if they think that Palpatine, if they got a little bit money more to squeeze out of him, that maybe they will. But I think that the fact that he was in Rise of Skywalker in the first place seemed like it was bolted on. Like they'd shot an entirely different movie, and then they're like, oh God, we got to get the fanboys in here, put Palpatine in it quick.
Did you know how they formally announced or like explained what Palpatine was doing in the movie?
Well, it was a Fortnite event.
Yeah, it was the Fortnite event.
Yeah, I watched it. Like what? By the way, what a fucking marketing decision by committee that was. So like the kids do the Fortnite. That's put it in Fortnite.
They're gonna be make them excited about Star Wars.
Yeah, and all the kids playing Fortnite are like,
what the fuck is this?
Yeah, we're here for Fortnite.
I just want to make my
because if you're playing Fortnite, you're a terrible fucking human being anyway. Like, Star Wars fans aren't Fortnite players. Like, that shit's so stupid. I'm kidding. If you guys
there's
like
some
Fortnite,
amount of overlap there, but it's not enormous.
Yeah, Fortnite was known to do crossover events. You can play as Thanos.
Yeah, they have the Avengers thing.
Yeah, but really, like when you're talking about the central crux to your story and like a bad guy that's almost worshipped by the Star Wars fandom, and you're like, we're gonna bring him back in a Fortnite event, and everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then they're like, we're gonna explain the rest of it in an opening crawl, and then hopefully everything will be smooth sailing. Yeah, it just, I like the theory. I picked it because I liked it as an idea. It does kind of delve into that Dark Empire idea of him like achieving immortality through a loophole.
Yeah.
Where he's like, well, I know how to clone things, so I'll just keep doing it this way. I don't actually think we'll see him anymore.
I really hope they don't bring him back.
Yeah, me too.
Because so his death at the end of Return of the Jedi was supposed to be like the end. That's the hero's final victory. Evil is gone forever.
Yeah, where have we seen that before?
Yeah. So bringing him back even once already cheapens that.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It makes Luke's great triumph seem less. And now if you bring him back yet again, it's like, what's so special about this dude?
Yeah.
Everybody, because he has to lose again.
Yeah,
because that
is his function in the story. Yeah, he's the bad guy that gets defeated.
So there is no way that he would like succeed in the end.
They turn him to a Jedi.
So
he comes back and he's like, I'm tired of being a bad guy. Like this shit.
I'm tired of losing.
Yeah, no one likes me. I want people to like me.
But it just cheapens him. Yeah, I think.
No, I agree. That was my one big problem with before we kind of knew what his function in the story was going to be, because we didn't know if he was going to be a disembodied spirit or like a memory or whatever. But like I had some hope then that maybe they would do it in a way that didn't kind of cheapen Vader's sacrifice at the end of Return of the Jedi. And then when we saw it, it was like, okay. If we were to boil all this down, I think that they're just happy to be done with it and they're ready to go on to new things. Mm-hmm. And I think that the new things aren't going to involve Palpatine at all. So
here's hoping.
Yeah. Anyway, let us know what you think about this theory, or if you have any other like batshit crazy theories about Star Wars that you want us to read.
Bigger Luke.
Yeah. Bigger Luke. Oh yeah. If you haven't read about Bigger Luke, like your Darth Jar Jar theory is cute. Go read Bigger Luke.
Bigger Luke is the real shit.
That's a man's theory about Star Wars.
It's a patrician's theory.
Yeah. So let us know about your crazy theories. Leave a comment, like the video.
A more elegant theory for a more civilized age.
Yeah. Subscribe. And
podcast.
Oh yeah, we have a podcast where like most of the shit that you don't hear about is going to be in it because I'm too lazy to cut all of it. But yeah, that's on Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Join us on our Facebook. We have funny memes and we play video games. It's a lot of fun. That's just Jedi Enclave on Facebook. If you search for it, you'll find it. So thanks for hanging out with us, guys. We will see you on the next video.